yes, this is my first Nerd Night, so thank you all for coming out. Yes, thank you very much. And yeah, I'm here to talk about penises, right? So, I am a reproductive biologist, but this actually has absolutely nothing to do with what I research. This is just something sort of fun on the side that I decided to do for my research group once, and now I'm presenting it to all of you. So, let's see how this goes. It was originally based off a paper that was published in 2017-2016 called the Morphological Diversity of Intromittent Organs. So this is my Oxford English Dictionary defines an intromittent organ as all of these. Most often a terrestrial species, internal fertilization. We already really know what it is. It's a penis. So we are going to start off tonight's talk with a few penis fun facts. Woo! And first off, the animal with the largest penis. Had to start off with the largest. King Ding-a-ling. Who does it go to? Any guesses? A lot of whales out there, and yes, the answer is a whale. It is a tie between the humpback whale and the blue whale, measuring at 3 meters long. That is as tall as a Christmas tree, for scale. Water boatman. Has anybody heard of a water boatman before? Yes. A couple of people, interesting. Did you know that they sing with their penis? Probably not. The way that works is kind of similar to how crickets rub their legs together and make that chirping noise. They actually rub their penis against their abdomen. And believe it or not, these little beetles, about the size of, or half the size of your pinky nail, emit the loudest sound per body size of any animal on Earth. Rubbing its penis. Right? It's about the equivalent of a helicopter taking off from about 20 feet away, so that is quite the noise and quite the penis. Flatworms. People have probably seen these snorkeling or scuba diving, but they actually duel with their penises. So flatworms are hermaphrodites, meaning that they are neither one sex nor the other, but by actually dueling with their penises, whoever stabs the other one first and inseminates the other one will become the female. Lucky flatworm. Right, Neopulpa Donald Trumpy. Has anybody heard of this before? Yes, I did not make this up. This is a real species, and here it is. It is a moth, and yes, you can see why it got its name. Biologists can have fun too. It has Donald Trump's charismatic blonde hairdo, and it also has a charismatically very small penis. Which is those 2 reasons why evolutionary biologists gave it that name, Neopulpa Donald Trumpy. There is also some weird and wonderful penises deep in the ocean, and you can probably tell by the way this fish looks that it lives exactly there. Way down on the bottom over here is its penis, attached to a jaw. And in my bio today, I said that sex at the best of times is a very troubling or very difficult pursuit. It's even harder in pitch black, about a couple hundred meters under the ocean floor. So once a male is swimming around and he comes across a female, bang, he shoots out this barb and grabs a hold of her and he inseminates her. So she can't get away. Their evolutionary role is completed, they've been inseminated, they're going to have a baby, and then he floats off again into the darkness. So, very beautiful, very romantic. Another deep sea animal, less pretty than we remember from Finding Nemo, but this is an anglerfish. And this little guy down here is the male anglerfish, and this is the female. So, huge difference there just in size. And what happens here with anglerfish is that the male actually swims around, same sort of deal as that fish with the penis on its head, swims around, finds a female, thank goodness, bites onto her, dissolves his jaw, and then just becomes a parasite and just sort of lives off her for the rest of their time. So in a weird way, he's a penis, he is a dickhead. And so she can use his sperm whenever she likes. If she would like to fertilize her eggs, and she can just quickly grab that sperm, fertilize the eggs, job done. And he can use all of her nutrients, and he can sort of survive and live as well. So he's just hanging out and making love, really. All right. So I'm going to have a little bit of a quiz as well. And it is a very fun, friendly, family-friendly game. Name that penis. So, this guy, echidna, yes, classic. How could we not talk about penises and not bring up the echidna? So, yes, this is the short-beaked echidna penis. Yes, all completely understandable reactions. It has 4 heads. 4 heads. 2 in the middle and then 1 flanked on either side. So it is an incredibly unusual penis just by looking at it, but we still don't really understand a lot about it. The most recent study was released last year, late last year, looking at trying to figure out why it's structured the way it is and how it works. The answer is we still don't really know. But what we do know is that down the middle there is 4 separate urethras, so they can actually use each of the heads individually if they wanted to. And what we originally thought on how they use their penis was it sort of worked like a piston. They would use the left 2, and then the next time they would use the right 2, and they would sort of rotate like that, however they feel. But now we actually know that they can just use one side if they want to. So they can just use the left 2 heads one time, take a 5-minute breather, go get a water, and then come back and use the other 2, and then use the same 2 again. It doesn't have to use the other 2. So, echidna, incredible. Now this one probably a little tricky to guess, but it is actually multiple penises in one. They are very slimy. Slimy is the clue. Any guesses? Slug! It is 2 leopard slugs. So leopard slugs, like the flatworms, are also hermaphrodites, and right now they are making love with each other. They are inseminating each other. So they join up together on a leaf or branch, extend their genitals, and they inseminate each other for hours and hours on end. All right. Donald Trump. Cannot confirm, cannot deny. Duck. Yes, this is the duck penis. So yes, corkscrew shaped, spiral shaped, spiralized, however you'd like to describe it. And there it is. Very unusual again, but very amazing because a lot of birds, or most birds, don't actually have penises. Ducks are one of the very few birds that actually do. And why is it spiraled? Why is it curled? I can hear you asking. Well, the female actually has a spiral vagina. And ducks, for the lack of a better term, are a bit rapey. So they chase female ducks around and they will try and have sex with them whenever they can, whether they want to or not. They're very aggressive and very forward. So the way that nature has sort of tackled that problem is to make it very tricky for that female duck to get pregnant if she doesn't want to. So she's got a spiraled vagina, and unless she's in the right position and he's in the right position and they're holding still at the right time, there's no chance that that penis is actually going to get all the way up to the right position so that he can actually inseminate her eggs or not. So nature's sort of anti-rape device, quite amazing. This one, yes, the spots sort of give it away there, but this is a trick question. This is not a penis. It's a female hyena. I heard someone in the audience say that, so I don't have a prize, but congratulations. This is a female hyena, yes, so they have a pseudo-penis. And a couple of reasons, again, why we think this would have developed. Originally, we used to think that high testosterone levels in females might lead to this extended penile-looking clitoris, which is what it is. It's actually an extended clitoris. But that has since been disproven because the testosterone isn't as influential as we thought it was going to be. So, spotted hyena females don't actually have an externally visible vagina. So the labia are actually fused over the top of the vagina, and then the clitoris hangs over the top of that. So, again, sort of similar to the duck, this is kind of an anti-rape device again. Because, as you can imagine, it's pretty hard to have sex in that. Because males do have a penis, and it is kind of the finger trap penis dance that they've got to do. So they do have sex through this pseudopenis, they do urinate through their pseudopenis, and they do even give birth through their pseudopenis. Yes, very, very tough being a female hyena. So, besides making it harder to mate with her, there is another theory on why they look like this, and this is called sexual monomorphism. Females and males look essentially identical, and you can't really tell them apart without looking really closely. And why this is I'm sure a lot of us here have seen a whole bunch of nature documentaries where, let's say, a male lion would come in and dethrone the old male lion, and then he would go and kill all the cubs because that threatened his bloodline. Well, female hyenas are actually the dominant sex, and they do exactly the same thing. So they'll fight, a new female might come in and lead the troop, and then she would go and kill all the young females. So it's pretty reasonable to say that if you look like a dude, maybe she might make a mistake and not kill you. That's one of the other theories. Whether it works, I cannot confirm or deny, but hopefully it does work for some of them. So, convergent evolution. Has anybody heard of convergent evolution before?
Yeah!
Yeah! A lot of enthusiasm for that, that's great.
Everything becomes grass.
Sure. Does anybody know what this is here? What is she holding? It's not a penis, I know. It's a pretty good guess though, I mean, it's on theme, on trend. It is a penis bone. Yes, 10 points to you. So, it's called a baculum, to be technically correct, but yes, it is a penis bone, and it is present in quite a few different species. And this is where convergent evolution sort of rears its very amazing head, because what it means is that completely different species or genera or just very distantly related animals essentially evolve to fix or to solve the same problem. So in this case, a baculum just so happened to be that solution to the problem that all of these animals experienced. And why would we need a penis bone? Any guesses?
Erection?
Erections, yes. Not being able to get it up is not a problem if you have a penis bone. And yes, this is exactly where the term boner came from, by the way. I'm sure you're all thinking of it. So yes, it removes the whole issue with low blood pressure. It's not an issue. You've got a penis bone, you can always have sex whenever you want to. Or whenever she's ready, you're ready to go. It also helps with actually extending the amount of time that sex can take, because the baculum helps to hold the male inside, and the longer that they're mating for, the less time that she will be mating with another male. And the last theory is that it actually protects your penis. So it gives it some structure, some rigidity. It's harder to eat and bite off, which a lot of animals do, I'm sure you're aware. So yes, this one, a little bit blurrier than I had imagined, but these are penile spines, so spikes coming out of the side of the penis. And they are present in quite a few species again. Cats, snakes, wombats, spotted hyenas. Yes, that same species that have a pseudopenis. They also have to have sex with a pseudopenis and a spiky penis. Unbelievable. What's the point? Why have a spiky penis? Any ideas? Any thoughts? What was that? Stays in there, yes, that is one. It does stay in there, it's hard to remove. So yeah, once they're having sex, harder to pull out. And number two would be that some species like cats and snakes are what's called induced ovulators. So they actually need some sort of stimulus to ovulate, whereas humans will spontaneously ovulate roughly in the middle of your cycle. Whereas cats and snakes need essentially that pain to ovulate. So They're not going to ovulate without having sex, and it just so happens that the way that they ovulate needs very spiky, painful penile spines. So what drives all of this diversity? We've sort of gone through some of it already. Largely it is female tract anatomy. Think of the duck penis and think of the duck vagina. Classic examples, spiral penis, spiral vagina. Why does the elephant have such an enormous penis? Well, the vagina actually starts all the way up here. Technically, all of this down here is the vestibule and not the vagina. So that's why they need basically a 2 metre, metre and a half penis. Pretty incredible. Environment. So a lot of the fish or mammals in the sea don't have externally visible or extendable penises because it's not streamlined and they're trying to move quickly, and also it is a perfect thing that other fish or other animals can grab on and eat and rip off. And it is a very, very important organ for you to spread your genes throughout the world. Type of copulation, these are wasp spiders, I believe. They actually rip off their penis and then give it to the female as a beautiful gift of courtship. So don't really need to have an elaborate one, you just give it to her. Lifestyle, barnacles. Barnacles are great. They have great penises. So barnacles, in terms of lifestyle, don't really move that much, they don't really do a lot, they swim around, and then they find a whale, a dock, a boat, whatever it is, suck on there, and then they basically don't move until they die. How does a barnacle have sex then? Very hard to find a female. Well, not if you have the longest penis to body length ratio in the world of 8 times its body length. That would be the equivalent of a blue whale having a 20-story penis. Yeah. And polygamy, we sort of went through that with the baculum. If you can have sex for longer, and if you have to you can get rid of that issue of having low blood pressure, chances are the female that you're having sex with is going to keep having sex with you. And then types of fertilization. So here's a great one of the gastric brooding frog, which is now extinct, unfortunately. But she actually brooded or gestated her eggs, and the fertilization occurred in her stomach. So again, you don't really need a penis because you can just sort of come in her mouth. That is nature sometimes, but she's extinct, unfortunately. And seahorses. Seahorses don't have a penis at all. They've just got cloacas, so they sort of just rub them together. So no need to get a penis. If you can just sort of touch cloacas, and then the male is actually the one who gestates the babies, if you didn't already know, which is incredible. So, 3 pictures. So on the left we have got the harvest mouse, which has a very small little mouse, about 10 centimetres long, with a penis half its body length. Pretty, very, very impressive. We've got Otana. So if you didn't already know, I also used to be a zookeeper at Melbourne Zoo, so I know Otana quite well. And he's about 200 kilos, 1.8 metres-ish tall, and he has got a 1-inch penis. So definitely got shafted in the penis world. But he also has a baculum, so he doesn't really need a big penis. And then seahorses, of course. No penises at all, not needed at all. So I've spoken all about penises, and that is, of course, only half the story. There is all the beautiful, incredible diversity in the female side. We've got kangaroos with 3 vaginas. Here's just a human one, for example. We've got the 2 separate uteri in rats. And then on the right here, we've got the platypus with 2 uteri, and one doesn't really work. It just sort of hangs around. It's probably on its evolutionary way out. So if anybody else would like to follow on from my talk today and talk about vaginas, by all means. It is equally fascinating. So thank you all for listening to my talk, and I am now ready for some questions.
Well, that was fascinating. I learned a lot, mainly that I'm very comfortable and confident with my sapphic proclivities. So thank you for affirming that, not that it needed to be. Questions in the audience? Surely there's some dick questions. Surely. Yes.
Which penis is your favourite one?
Do you have a favourite dog?
My favourite dom. I mean, it's got to be the echidna. It can't not be the echidna. It's just so unbelievably rare, and no animal in the world has 4 heads on their penis. And it's even rarer because if an animal has a cloaca, which is the urogenital sinus, they will not have a penis. But Echidnas also have a cloaca and a penis. So again, it's weird that they've got a four-headed penis, but it's even weirder that they've got a penis at all with a cloaca. So I've got to go echidna.
Can't go wrong with echidnas. All right. Any other questions? So it's very smoky. I can't see. Yes, Jack.
The penises in humans on the way out on an evolutionary timeline.
Have we evolved to be rid of the male penis in humans?
There is some theory to suggest this, yes. So there is some theory to point in that direction. We are getting, one side, we're getting less fertile over time. Sperm counts have been dropping quite dramatically over the past decades as we, consume more plastics and things like that. But also penis size has been decreasing over time as well. So, sad.
What I'm hearing is bring back the baculum.
Bring back the baculum.
Can I get some house lights? I'm struggling to see folks. Yes, somebody, yes, in the middle there.
Do we know why the water vocal sings with his penis? Does it have an evolutionary purpose or does it just feel good?
Why does the water boatman sing with his penis? Is it because he's watched too much Glee, or is there a purpose?
I wish I had an answer to that. And I would love the answer to be it just feels good.
Yeah, me too. I think we'll follow up on that for you, but I think we can all agree that we know which answer we want it to be. All right, any other? Yes, back there.
So if humans are primates, technically, how come we don't, how come human males don't have the bone, the penis? Or do we?
I missed the last bit. Why don't
If humans are primates, technically, how come human males don't have a penis bone?
don't have a penis? What, sorry?
The bone.
Bone. Oh, sorry. I swear I wasn't trying to make you say penis more than you needed to. Why? My hearing is just really bad. Why, if primates and humans are so similar in terms of evolutionary science, facts, why is it that human males don't have a baculum and primates do?
So it's potentially two things. One is that the baculum, even in the great apes, is also on its way out. We've just evolved in a way that it happened quicker. And sort of tangentially related to that is that we have a lot more sexual selection than gorillas do in terms of our aesthetic, and our genitals plays into that as well. So, the whole does size matter thing. I can't really comment on that, but there is some evolutionary evidence that that sort of sexual selection that our partners have, whether it's conscious or subconscious, does play a role in how the penis evolves over time. So there you go.
All right, same but different. All right, a couple more questions. I still can't see anything. I'm very sorry. Yes.
What's the topic of your thesis?
What the hell did you write your thesis about?
I wish it was about penises. They're pretty incredible.
There's still time.
There's still time, yeah. Thesis number 2. So my thesis, I actually worked with the world's only known menstruating rodent. So equally cool, and I've spoken about that a lot, and I continue to because it is unbelievably fascinating. But yeah, less than 2% of all mammals have a menstrual cycle in the world. So it's basically humans, the great apes, a couple of bats, why, and this mouse. So very hard to study a lot of the menstrual health, female health in general, pregnancy, embryo implantation, all these things. Very, very, very difficult to model and study correctly. But now we've got a mouse that has very, very similar female reproductive biology traits. So essentially, I looked at the early pregnancy in this mouse and how that compares to humans, and it is good news, it's very similar. So, yes, that's my topic.
Stay tuned for thesis number 2 on penises. Any other questions? Yes.
If penises are on their way out, they're like a penis 2.0.
Will it be, if penises are on their way out, will we build them better, faster, stronger, harder?
Harder, better, faster, stronger, right? Yeah. Good question. I don't know. I don't know the answer, I'm sorry. I would love to know. Yeah, what the penis 2.0, would it have a spear hook thing? Would we just rip it off? Would we just negate sex altogether and just sort of bite onto a woman and then job's done? I don't know. Watch this space.
I think my vote is goes either for the spider wasp of like, here, save it for later, or seahorses where it's like, rub, rub,
So,
pregnant vibe. Yeah, cool. We can do one more question. Any brave soul? No more questions? Yes? One, someone? Yes, please. I can't see your hand, but speak.
Boring question. So if a seahorse is a male, but it doesn't actually have a penis, and it gestates the baby, then why is it male?
That's a big question. Okay, we're getting into seahorse gender politics.
grey area.
Oh, how do I unpack this? Do we have time? Yeah, so what makes a seahorse male or not male? How do they identify? Dr. Jarrod, please unpack.
This is a big question, and I'm hopefully going to approach it from a very scientific perspective here. So, like a lot of species, there are some chromosomes that dictate to whether you are male or female. It's a lot grayer with species like seahorses because, yes, they have those male traits, but they're also sexually monomorphic again, so they look basically identical. But they do have the sperm, so they do create and make sperm. It just so happens that they will gestate it as well. Whether that is something else that's, on its evolutionary way out or way in, who knows? Maybe it's been very progressive, males can take it from here. That's my approach.
Be more seahorse. All right, well, thank you. Big round of applause for Dr.